Lake Naivasha is my name. I am known at home and abroad for my birds, fish, wildlife, and water. I attract tourists and fishermen, farmers, flower growers, and livestock. I had a surrounding blanket made of papyrus and trees that sieved away your poisons to let you drink freely and to let life flourish.
The shallow waters and banks at the edges of the lake form an important ecosystem. Not only does this habitat provide an environment rich in food and shelters for a range of birds and animals, but also protects the water from the land and also protects the land from the water.
This is the region where you have the papyrus, fringe, filtering, all that is land-bound potential pollutants.
But it is no longer there, and in some cases, only small stands are left. I don't know if you realize how important I am, as you have turned me into a dump site where you pour all what you don't need, causing bad ripples to my life and that of my dependents.
Of late, there has been great encroachment onto this riparian land, where most of it is being converted to agricultural land.
The loss of the riparian habitat has been dramatic. Let's try to find out why this has happened.
You'll find of late there has been great encroachment onto this riparian land, where most of it is being converted to agricultural land. There are also increasing demand for riparian land for grazing. The main problem that we have in Lake Naivasha relates to increase of nutrient levels. The main sources of these nutrients is from domestic waste, mainly organic waste. It's also coming from agricultural activity.
The loss of the protective riparian barrier has meant loss of habitat for the birds and may have contributed to increased sedimentation and reduced water quality of the lake. The value of wetlands is so high that they are starting to be recognized by large-scale businesses and services.
We believe in best practice. So for the purposes of disposing our wastewater, we decided it is good and it would be useful to dispose clean water back to the system.
Here in Kingfisher Flower Farm, they have established a unique system to treat wastewater from flower washing, catering, and laundry facilities. Firstly, the fats are filtered out and microscopic organisms that feed on waste are added. In this tank, some of the solid material settles out and the bacteria starts to break down the waste, producing these bubbles.
We've just come from the sedimentation tank through to the GBH, the gravel bed hydroponics. Where we are at the day cell, and we can see we have two of them. What happens here is an increase in the detention time. The cells are very deep, and that provides for the anaerobic treatments of the wastewater. We also see a lot of plants which are useful in the uptake of the pollutants in the water. And also you can actually feel the climate is different here.
These deep pools are filled with gravel where special bacteria break down the waste. The slower the water flows through the ponds, the more time the bacteria have to clean the wastewater. After these gravel beds, the wastewater passes through a series of 3 deep pods or cells where more natural cleaning occurs.
Well, behind me is cell 2. So we have like the lettuce, the water lettuce, and the hydrocortice continue to take out the phosphates and the nitrates from the water. And there is There is the difference that you can see, especially with the roots of the plants when you take them out from the water. The roots have now started going in deeper, an indication that the nutrient level is decreasing. You'll also see an increase in insect life, especially the dragonfly. You'll start finding them from cell 2, an indication that the water is also increasing.
Well, here we are at cell 3, which is the last of the open water cells. And you will see in the water behind me, there is terrific activity. There are feeding rings. We have fish in here as well, and the fish are an important biological indicator, showing how much the water is improved.
After passing each cell, the water gets cleaner and cleaner, and by the end of the cell 3, the water is clean enough to be released back into the lake.
We find it is good to have a constructed wetland because of the added advantage of the aesthetics, the beauty around the dry areas. As you're seeing, it's all patched up and it looks like an oasis in a desert. It made good business sense to do this because basically we had locally available material to construct the wetland. And the level of maintenance and the level of materials required for the construction is something that is available locally. I think it can be extended to cover larger treatment works if they have space, because this requires that you have land, and if they are willing to have personnel trained in its maintenance, and if they are willing to understand the benefits of a constructed wetland, I think it can be used for a larger community.
These constructed wetlands may be used to more than just business. They may even be able to support the whole community.
We do believe that if we can have constructed wetlands like what is happening in other places, I believe like soon, within the adjacent land, it can be more efficient. That product may be more quality. Yeah, but now the system that we have again was also constructed in the 80s, and maybe the technology that was used is still a bit outdated. So we do believe that the improved the BOD at the end will be much more improved if we do have constructed wetlands, and also the cost of planning the facility and keeping it clean would really be very much reduced. It makes a lot of business sense to have such a system in the future.
Okay.
But I can see a ray of hope from those who know my value as wealth and not waste, that you now have come up with a big table inviting everyone to use me wisely as you expand. I'm watching and waiting.